Catherine.
And we're from Plant-Based Health. And I will have to say that Catherine has one of the best savory potato pear stews that everyone is raving about. So today we're here to learn a little bit about it. So Catherine, I guess for starters, can you just tell us a little why you wanted to do this stew?
Well, it sort of came out by accident. My husband and I were getting ready to go on vacation, and I had a lot of vegetables that were going to go bad. And so I wanted something that would be really filling and would kind of help warm us up and satisfy us before the trip. But I didn't want to add on a lot of weight before the vacation.
Because you're probably wearing a bikini or something like
that?
Okay.
Right. So,
would be good.
We don't want any excess fat, so I knew I would want a lot of fiber.
Okay.
For that. Also, I thought, well, what if we don't eat all of the food and we have some leftovers? So I wanted something I'd be able to freeze, and I thought a stew would freeze well.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to cook in bulk and then
and then that'll be easier when we come home from vacation. We'll have something to eat right away. We could thaw.
Great.
Also, whenever we're traveling on aircraft, you know, we're exposed to a lot of germs in the air, so I like to just really boost up my beta-carotene intake before vacation.
Okay, so that explains the carrots in here.
Right.
And when you cook them, more beta-carotene is released.
Right.
And they're sweet.
And they're sweet. I really like a sweet flavor.
Okay. So what do you usually start with?
Well, my rule is generally I always start with an onion and garlic.
We have the same rule.
Great. It provides a nice base for the stew, but they're also really great cancer fighters.
Okay.
They're part of the allium family, and they've shown to slow the growth of cancer cells.
That's great.
So even though I'm on vacation, my body's still working for me.
Yeah.
Which is good.
But if you have garlic and onions, beware that your significant other, whoever you're with closely, should probably have them too, or else you may be a little stinky.
Right. And I really love garlic. This recipe calls for 4 cloves, but if I'm at home just making it for us, then I would probably use 5 or 6 cloves. And we're both eating it, so it's not very offensive.
Okay, cool. And also, when you break down the garlic, the allicin is released, which is really nice too.
Right. We need to cut it about 10 or 15 minutes before we cook it.
Okay.
So that as it's exposed to air, it can protect that allicin.
Okay, so let's go ahead and dice and
yes,
mince the garlic.
Yeah, we'll dice our onion and then mince the 4 cloves of garlic.
Let's do something for the immune system, because we definitely do not want to get sick while we're traveling.
True. Okay, so carrots would be great for that. They're really high in beta-carotene.
Okay.
Help boost the immune system. Really good during cold and flu season.
Okay, and you never want to peel your carrots.
Never. Just wash them and scrub them well.
Right, because all of the minerals and everything else are tucked right under the skin layer.
Right, so we'll leave these and we're going to cut these into matchsticks.
Oh, nice. Can you show us how to do that?
Sure.
Great. So, Catherine, why these little skinny guys?
Well, I think it's a personal preference. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to cut veggies into matchsticks, and it would get me to eat more of them. And it just reminds me of her. And
it's kind of a cool, you know, shape.
Yeah, it's easy to do to get uniform matchsticks. You can just cut this carrot diagonally so that you get round discs.
Okay.
And then they kind of fall over on each other, and you can hold your knife at an angle and just make straight slices, and it gives you matchsticks.
Neat. These 3 veggies take a little bit longer to cook, so you want to cook them first to draw out their sweetness and cook over medium heat for about 5 minutes.
So grab a 5-quart saucepan and a wooden spoon.
Wait, but what about the oil?
Oh, well, we want to keep our stew low fat, remember?
Yes.
Oil is 100% fat, so we're going to skip the oil.
Okay.
If you need something to keep the veggies from sticking to your cookware, then you can add a little bit of broth or water, and that'll be fine.
Great. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the ingredients. So a jalapeno is going to give it a bit of spice.
I like spicy.
And what do you complement that with?
Something sweet, like a tomato would be really good. They get sweeter as they're cooked.
Plus you get the added lycopene.
Right, which is great for the men in our lives.
Because of the prostates.
Right, but we're fine with that since we don't have prostate.
Okay, all right, and then we have the potatoes.
Right, and we're using Yukon Gold potatoes here. Regular white russet potatoes are high glycemic, so these would be low glycemic for us, but still give us that creaminess and fiber.
And tons of vitamin C.
Yes.
Okay, and so we have sweet and spicy right now. We need something a little bit savory and a little bit salty.
Right.
Okay.
So I've chosen 2 tablespoons of fresh rosemary.
Okay.
And we're going to chop this, make it a little bit smaller, and then about a half a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
Would be good.
Great. And what about the lentils?
Well, I was looking at the stew and I said I really want this to be rich in protein and be really filling with fiber, but I don't want a bean stew. I just wasn't in the mood. So I chose red lentils because as they cook, they just get really creamy and you don't even know they're in there. Great source of protein and fiber to help fill us up.
Great. All right, so now we'll chop the rest of the vegetables, add them to the stew, add everything to the stew except for the pear, which we'll save till the end.
Right. We want to bring it to a boil.
Okay.
And then cover it, lower the heat, and cook it for about 30 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender.
Don't forget 5 cups of broth and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Stop it!
So while we're waiting for our stew to cook, we're going to cut 2 pears into matchsticks.
Okay.
This is a great source of fiber, and plus it'll give it a little bit of sweetness.
And the taste is unbearable.
Oh my gosh.
Catherine, those aren't really matchsticks.
Well, I guess they're more like skinny cubes.
Okay.
So now that our stew is cooked for about 30 minutes, we want to add those sliced pears and cook for about 5 minutes more.
Okay, that's easy.
So what do you think?
It's delicious.
And nutritious.
And so good for you.
We hope you enjoy it.